Hey guys, welcome to a Titan fight that we did a few days ago with some of the FC members, and we had Talwin help us on this as our tank. So yeah, I'm gonna go through some of his moves, some of his more important moves that people seem to get confused by. Also, I'd like to touch on positioning. So sorry about this. I had to rebind my hotkey here. But anyway, the first phase, the first part of the fight is easy. You shouldn't have any problem with it. And yeah, let's go to his moveset. He's gonna do landslides and stomps. His stomps are gonna hit you for about 750 to 800 damage per stomp. So the lower his health is, the lower his health gets, the more stomps he's going to do. I think it's based on the percentage. So by 50% it's going to do 5 stomps, and by 60% it's going to do 6. I think 4. 60% is going to do 5 stomps, and so on. So on the second part, it's going to do plumes first, or weight of the land rather. That's what it's called. It's going to do that first, and then to landslide and stomps. So here's a thing to remember here. The only thing that you should be worried about are the plumes. So the easiest way to know when the plume comes out is to do a 1-2 count. It's always the third one. Like this is the second move. The third one should be plumes right there. So someone should be calling for plumes. Supposedly, if it's an FC party, if I'm in the party, I will be calling it. But if nobody's calling it, it's it would be convenient if you know the count, 1-2 count, 1-2 plume, 1-2 plume. So it's pretty simple actually. Now, in this particular phase here, he's gonna add bombs into his moveset. So that's landslide, and then he's gonna do plumes on the second one. So this is pretty much the same on every fight. And then the bombs, I'm marking the first one that dropped and chilling at the last one, so it's easier for me to move. You can either sit in the middle where the guys are, or at the last bomb that dropped there. Now, he's gonna cast landslide immediately after the bombs explode, and then plumes afterwards. So this is why it's important for someone to call for the plumes, because most people forget and they get hit by the plumes, and some people die, and it's just unneeded downtime. Alright. He's gonna do this for a couple more turns, and yeah, nothing really special going on here. Now, as you can see, I'm not moving much. The way to avoid plumes, for me personally, I think the easiest way is to either move out away from your party members. Don't go the same direction your party members are going, because if you do that, you get a higher probability to get hit. And I mean, it's easy for me because I'm a bard. I can move and attack at the same time, so it should not be a problem for me. It's a lot more difficult for casters that have to stay still to cast things, especially black mages and summoners, maybe for some of their dots. But yeah, like I said, if you know the count, then you should have no problem. Alright, almost to the hard phase here. There it is. Everybody stack up, get their heals, and pop all your cools with your DPS, get to the heart. Now he's gonna jail one guy, one party member here, really early into the fight, and unfortunately it was me. So I lost a big chunk of my DPS on Titan. But it's okay. Now what you want to do at this point is to get the first guy who gets jailed out as soon as possible, because he's gonna jail another guy halfway throughout the fight, and you can't really afford to have two guys being trapped here. So get the guy out as soon as possible. DPS everybody on the guy who gets jailed, and get back on the heart as fast as you can. Now he's gonna add, you know, he doesn't really add anything. It's the same thing here. It only jails people, and then his moveset is pretty much the same as the third one. And of course, you have to kill his heart before, you know, before the plumes disappear. That's pretty much your time frame. That's your time limit, basically. Now, this is where people are not familiar with the fight. Okay, as you can see, he does about 5 stomps here, and the plumes are bigger. Still 1-2 count. That's 1. Okay, this 3 set bombs. See where I'm sitting here. I'm sitting right in the middle, so I can avoid it very, very easily. And you know, you give room to your tank to run away from, you know, the exploding bombs as well. So that's counted as 2 moves: bombs and landslide, and then plumes directly. So fortunately for this, I'm calling it. But if nobody's calling it, you know, you have to pay attention to the count, make sure that your positioning is correct, and try to avoid the plumes as much as possible. Same thing here. If one guy gets jailed, you know, most DPS should be on the jail. Get the guy out as soon as you can, because you know, it's not really a DPS race at this point. You just want to have everybody alive and, you know, available for the fight and not trapped. So if you see someone getting jailed, just get him out as soon as you can. Same thing here. Is going to do landslide at the same time the bomb explodes. So I'm positioning myself away from the first bomb so I don't get hit. Unfortunately, some of the guys got hit because they were too close. So again, positioning. Sometimes you're not in the perfect position and you have to make do. That's where reflexes come in, but most of the time you should be able to pre-plan your move before the actual attack comes from Titan. Now, as you can see here, for the first couple of jails here, the DPS has not switched to the jail and getting him out. So I don't know. I prefer getting him out as soon as possible. That means all DPS on this thing. The healer should be able to keep up because oh, now here's an interesting part. I have very little space to run to because I wasn't prepared for it. But yeah. Now again, 3 set bombs sit in the middle, right here. See? Makes it a lot easier to dodge. And unfortunately here I'm running in the same direction as as the tank and got hit by one of his cleaves, but it's okay. Now, in this phase of the fight, it's very important to stay calm. You know, don't panic, because it's a long fight. Even at like 30% or 20% of the Titan's health, it's still a long fight. So you have to keep your concentration up and don't panic. Make sure your positioning is good all the time. And for the healers, I can't really speak for the healers because I've never healed for Titan, but I know how you guys do it. But yeah, these guys are doing a great job keeping us alive. But unfortunately, we had some positioning problems towards the end of the fight, which I'm going to point out in a bit. Again, I am spacing myself away from the party members so that I have, you know, I know where to run to, which is forward for that particular part. See, DPS. I have to emphasize on DPS. They should not be dying at all. I mean, because this is a very healer intensive fight, and DPS should have nothing to worry about apart from just avoiding things. You know, it's just one of those things that you have to prepare for. Now, I can avoid, you know, almost all of his attacks. Doesn't matter where my positioning is because I'm just so used to fighting Titan. It's just something that you guys, you know, need to have, I guess, is to get used to the mechanics and really know where to position yourselves. And if you're on a console using a controller, I would highly suggest getting a keyboard and mouse. It makes things a lot easier. I mean, I've tried playing with the controller and it's so damn difficult. I couldn't even manage to target people when I first started with the controller. It was ridiculous. So anyway, here. Now, usually on fights like this, where I have to concentrate, like maybe Chimera and Hydra or something, where I have to really watch out for one-shots and stuff like that, I don't really have time to look at chat or limit breaks because my limit bar is all the way to the left there, and I don't really see my party list, unfortunately, and I should have limit braked here, but you know, by the time I realized it, I was already dead, which is unfortunate. But we could have had this fight. Just a lack of concentration, I guess. Because it's always hectic during Titan fights, especially in the last 20%, 30%. It gets really intense. I should be limit breaking by now, but I didn't realize the limit bar was full already. So yeah, that kind of cost us the fight. Astral was trapped in there, which is unfortunate. And yeah, that was the fight that we could have won if I don't know, if we were on TeamSpeak, maybe we'll be able to save the fight. Otherwise, it was a pretty good run, apart from some guys dying. Yeah, so like I said, let's rehash. Just get used to the 1-2 count and your positioning during the plumes, and the bomb set, the 3-set bombs, try to sit in the middle so it's easier to avoid the landslide and not get hit by anything. Apart from that, just keep your cool, you know, keep on trying, and if I'm free, I'll help you guys with Titan if you have a full party. And yeah, good luck with your Titan runs, and see you guys again later.